What's up, amazing people of YouTube? So today I want to talk to you guys about money, dollars, right? Federal Reserve notes. So I don't know if you guys are aware of what's happening in Nigeria right now, right? So Nigeria decided to renew its monetary system. So their central bank essentially said you have a certain amount of time. I believe they gave them 3 months. And they said you have to bring in all your money and deposit it into the banks so we can exchange it for the new currency. Now, to us Americans, that might sound a little weird that they're changing currency. But most people aren't aware that this has happened in U.S. history multiple times. We were on a gold standard, a silver standard, and then we stopped accepting or paying out for silver and gold certificates. I believe silver was up to 1964. So after 1964, we've been on a different system. It's like the trust in the economy system. So long as there's a belief in the system and how it's working and the economy, then the money has value. But it's not backed up by anything, not even oil. One can argue that we might be on a partial oil standard, but that's an argument at best. So just like Nigeria, if this were to occur in the United States, of which I want you to take into consideration that from 1913 onward, we have data, because 1913 and then 1933 with the central bank, it's been a different monetary system, right? So from 1913 onward, you've lost about 10% of purchasing power on your dollar since then. So if you're talking about just inflation, you've already lost about 98% of what a dollar was worth in 1913. Now, why am I making this video? Is America going to change its currency and all that? Possibly. Now, you have to understand that they brought up Bitcoin. Bitcoin wasn't just some random thing. That was a test, right? To see what happens and what not. Now, 5% of the money, US dollars that exist, are actually printed in paper. 95% of it is in digital form. It's on bank computers and bank accounts, and they just switch, from one number to another bank account. You get what I'm saying? It's not actual money being exchanged. So that's only 5% of the US dollars in existence in the world are printed in paper. Now, the US might decide to go full digital, and it will be a central bank digital currency. Something like CBDC, central bank digital currency. And if that were to occur, what are the problems that arise from this? So what we're seeing happening in Nigeria is people with money saved. Now, Nigeria, I believe 85% of their money is in printed format. And 85% of the economy's money is actually not in the banks, but in the people's hands. So all these people are trying to bring in their money to exchange it. But they're not giving people their full amounts of money. And a lot of people want to take out money from the bank because they're not sure what's going to happen, right? There's an uncertainty there of like what's going to happen to the value of money. And they're only letting them take out, let's say, $1,000 a day, okay, out of their own money from their own bank. The bank is not giving them their full sum of money. So if we were to go to a digital currency and they were like, everybody has to turn in their money, otherwise past this date, we are no longer, paper and coin currency is no longer valid. So everything needs to go into a digital format. Now, when you go in to turn in that money, they might start asking questions. Why do you have so much cash saved up? They might say, you know what, there's a $10,000 limit on how much each person can turn into the bank. This happened to the Soviets when the Soviet Union collapsed. People were just burning money because the bank refused to take their money. They were like, you're only allowed to turn in, let's say, $1,000. That's it. They decide. You have no decision. And your $100,000 of savings, well, $99,000 of paper now. Right? Now, the second problem that might arise is you might not get the same purchasing power when you exchange your money. Because when important shit like this happens in the world, very few people benefit from it. It's always the elites. But in regards to the everyday consumer, everyday citizen, most people take a loss. So you might turn in, let's say, $100 worth of purchasing power, meaning today's $100 bill, and they might give you money in CBDC, in digital currency, that's equivalent to 50 US dollars in purchasing power. So you automatically lose 50% of the money you turn in. Even though you turn in $100,000, it's really worth $50,000. So there are many problems that can arise from doing, from them switching to a digital currency, of which it's a matter of time. It's literally a matter of time. We're already in a partial digital currency format. We all have credit cards and debit cards. We're already running just numbers on computers. You get what I'm saying? So once they do eventually go to a digital currency, important factors arise. And if you want to see the shit show that happens when they give you a short period of time to do so, like they gave Nigeria 3 months, you guys should check out the shit show that's happening over there. Now, would they give the United States 3 months? Well, I looked into it and I found out that there's actually no law that I could find that there is a set amount of time that if they were going to change currency in the United States, that they have to give you, let's say, 6 months, or legally they have to give you 1 year to exchange. And what, there is no set amount of time. So they can give you a day, they can give you 5 years. It's at their discretion, as it always has been in regards to money. And most people aren't even aware that the US dollar is not a US dollar. It's a Federal Reserve note. It says it at the top of all your money. Any money you pull out of your pocket, read at the top of it. It says Federal Reserve note. It's a fucking IOU. It's a piece of paper. It's an IOU for the day when we get enough gold to jump back on the gold standard. Until then, it's an IOU. Like, here's your piece of paper, and when that day comes, you can exchange this piece of paper for some golden metal. So a lot of people aren't aware of what actually US money is, but that's a deep rabbit hole. But it's not dollars, it's Federal Reserve notes. So yeah, solo yolo bolo, that's just some information I wanted to throw out there. If you have more information, or if you'd like to correct me in certain things, or tell me to check certain things out, I'd appreciate it. Other than that, you guys enjoy yourselves, go fuck yourselves. Solo yolo bolo, peace.